Warning, this podcast contains every spoiler ever.
Snape killed Dumbledore.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 3. This is technically part 2, because we did this once before with very, very early previews, but we're doing it again, because there's so much new information. This is basically the second coming of information. I'm your host, Dom. With me is Captain Clio. America.
Should be a C instead of an A.
It's Captain Clio America.
Ah, there we go.
There we go. Mike?
Hi, I have nothing fancy Marvel related to put on my head.
Ha, I'm special.
And Erika?
Where is it?
How's it going?
Good.
How is everyone tonight?
Good.
Good.
Wishing I had a hat.
Well, you don't.
Me too. I didn't figure my common dead mouse hat would be good for a Disney property. So even though we do S.H.I.E.L.D. all the time,
You don't have like Mickey Mouse ears you could throw on, Mike?
I'm getting the hat now. Because, yes, screw you guys.
Yes.
There.
Mickey Mouse.
I got the hat.
Dead mouse.
Yes.
What hat?
I don't see it.
Mike's wearing an
Mickey Mouse.
invisible hat.
It's an invisible hat. Oh. Excellent.
There, it'll hide the glare on my glasses.
Nice. Okay, so, Marvel Phase 3. There's so much to talk about, but before we get to Phase 3, we're going to have to talk about Phase 2, because Phase 2 is not quite over. So, we can't jump into Phase 3 without knowing where Phase 2 ends.
It ends with Ultron.
It ends with Ant-Man.
It ends with
What is it?
Ant-Man. Yes.
Oh.
See,
Oops.
Ant-Man was originally the beginning of Phase
Yeah.
3, but
Yeah.
it is now the end of Phase 2.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Probably should have realized that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, alright, so before Ant-Man we have Age of Ultron.
Yes.
We got teased with the trailer, but we were told the trailer was coming out, and then like 2 days before the trailer came out, it was leaked all
got leaked
over
by
the
Hydra.
internet. Yes, Hydra leaked it.
Hydra leaked it.
That was even a tweet that
That Marvel made.
Marvel shot out. It was nice recovery.
Yeah, that was great.
And then within hours, they decided to just throw the trailer up. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, touche, good job. Nice combat to that. What'd you guys think of the trailer?
It was scary. Awesome.
Yeah. At first it was like, okay, what's going on here? Because everything just kept flashing back through. But then like the next 50 times I watched it, it was like you started noticing everything about it. So it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like little things like we saw Iron Man in the Hulkbuster suit,
Mm-hmm.
but there's little things that some people may not have noticed where you see 2 arc reactors right at the kneecaps. So the thing is powered by 2 of them. One is not enough to stop the Hulk. This suit needs 2. You know?
Well, wouldn't that technically then be 3 because he's got the one on his chest?
The one on the chest was obscured from the actual big Hulkbuster
Yeah,
suit.
but-
So
What it looks like to me is he was wearing the regular Iron Man suit, and then the Hulkbuster came on over it.
right.
So he's got the power source for the regular suit, and then 2 extra ones for the Hulkbuster.
Right, and we don't even know if there's any more in addition to those.
Yeah.
So we know there's at least 2 that are powering just the Hulkbuster suit.
Well, yeah, you said you saw him go into the suit, but it's possible that the suit is under remote control. He's not even in there.
That's
There was
true.
the theory
Yes.
tossed around that Ultron hacked it and took control of it.
Yeah, that, and I thought that too. I don't know what I think anymore because there are so many.
Yeah,
One of the,
I don't know.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, like I didn't really understand what was going on. I thought, wait a minute, they put the Hulk in an Iron Man suit? What's going on?
Yeah,
That's really bad.
That's crazy.
But then I saw him fighting it, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
So some information that we know about the Hulk in this particular episode, or this installment of the Avengers, is the Hulk is just as scared of Bruce Banner as Bruce Banner is scared of the Hulk. And I think that's a very interesting development there. So it's almost like we're getting a mini Hulk movie, you know, within this, because we don't really get to see the Hulk outside of the Avengers movies, you know?
No, because both his movies were not as good as everything else.
They weren't.
No.
But that was
Yeah.
also when Marvel was kind of learning still,
Yeah,
too.
no, you're completely
Weren't the Hulk movies all in Phase 1?
They
Like,
were.
The first
Well,
movie.
the first movie was
The first one is
completely
unrelated.
retconned.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about the Ang Lee one.
Right.
I'm talking about the first in the MCU. The first one was like one of the first movies.
Yeah, the only one.
Yeah.
I think it was after Iron Man.
It was after it was after Iron Man, but I remember seeing a timeline they released. It happened, as far as all the Phase 1 movies, it happened closest to the Avengers in their timeline, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, when the events of the Avengers is going on in the Chitauri or invading Manhattan, Harlem is still destroyed. Because you're not going to be able to repair that damage in a month.
Oh, okay. See, I never realized that because they don't show you Harlem in.
No, they show you Stark Tower, wherever the heck that is. I'm going to say somewhere around Midtown.
Stark. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Stark Tower is right. Isn't it right next to Grand Central where they did all the fighting? Isn't it right there?
It's near.
It's
I know
near Times Square. So, and we know Grand Central's near Times Square, so.
they did. Yeah, there was 4 of those fight scenes. Fifth
I
Avenue.
I don't know why I thought that it was in the place of the MetLife building, which is right on top of Grand Central.
It's possible it wasn't the place of that life building.
Bruce Banner is also supposedly going to have a love interest, which has been rumored.
Well,
rumored
Black Widow?
to be Black Widow.
Yeah,
Oh.
I can see that.
There's the scene where that, I guess you could say, the crumbled Iron Man suit comes into Tony Stark's living room while they're all hanging around having drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an unidentified woman in that shot with them.
Yes.
So I was figuring, hey, that's who that is. It's Hulk's love interest. I don't have to bring that up.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, because they don't ever give you a clear angle of her face, so I couldn't even tell what she looked like.
mm-hmm.
She was just a lady hanging
I have the actual location of the Stark Tower, and you guys will know it being from New York.
Yeah.
58th and Broadway near Columbus Circle.
Oh, okay, so no, it's not close to Grand Central. I was mistaken. Yeah, Columbus Circle is on the other side of the island. The other river, I should say.
We will definitely be seeing Hawkeye. Hawkeye was actually supposed to be in Winter Soldier, but apparently the movie was already extremely long and they ended up cutting his scenes out, so I wouldn't be surprised if they end up on the Blu-ray.
My favorite joke after the Winter Soldier came out was it was just a drawing of Hawkeye walking into to S.H.I.E.L.D. with a cup of coffee, like late for work. It's like, guys, what happened to S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, so this is gonna take place after the aftermath of everything that happened with Captain America 2. We have supposedly S.H.I.E.L.D. The Avengers are gonna be spread out across the entire globe trying to take down the remnants of Hydra.
Yeah.
They're gonna be taking down the bases, so we're gonna see a lot of the Avengers separately. We're not gonna see them all bunched together. They may be in pairs of 2, something like that, but they are gonna be all spread out all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a bit from the trailer where they're like somewhere in Eastern Europe, and there's a bunker, and that's a buzz like, oh, that's a Hydra, base that they're taking down.
Yeah.
And the scenes of Hawkeye in the forest, and and I think there's a couple S.H.I.E.L.D. the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Actors rumored to be in the movie, so I assume they will be with Hawkeye in those scenes.
Excellent.
Yeah, they show a castle and a bunker. I'm guessing inside that castle. The theory is that it's Baron von Strucker's castle.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
in
mean,
Europe.
and that would make the most sense because we're gonna get Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and we saw from the end of was that the end of Captain America: Winter Soldier, where it's struck her with the twins in like a.
He's bouncing around the cell, and she's just like, crush things.
Ooh,
look,
reality bending.
Smash.
Yeah.
Literally all of the possibilities.
And supposedly the bunker that we see at the end of Captain 2, the Hydra base that has Loki's mind gem staff. I've been hearing rumors, but everybody's been saying that it's confirmed to be the mind gem, and I have not been able to find an actual Marvel post saying that it is 100% confirmed that it's the mind gem. They've confirmed that it has a gem, but they have not said it's the mind gem. So it's only speculation at this point, but it makes the most sense.
There was a shot I saw, a video. It might have been from the event where they released the Phase 3 timeline or something. You know, they said how many gems have been revealed or whatever. It shows a picture of the Tesseract. It shows a picture of the orb. It shows, Malekith holding the Aether. And then it shows Loki's staff.
Right.
So, I mean, that's, I think, where everybody got the idea that it's confirmed.
Yeah. Well, they haven't outright said it's the mind gem, but it makes the most sense. So
they mind control people with the thing.
I mean, literally everyone and their mother refers to it as the mind gem by now. And
well, think of how many people thought the soul gem was in the obelisk.
Yeah, Dom.
I told you. There's a Terrigen crystal.
There's another obelisk. So
yes, there is.
Also,
so what now?
A Terrigen crystal.
And probably also a Terrigen crystal. I mean,
yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
We will actually be discussing the Terrigen crystals in depth a little bit later in the show. But as for Ultron, so. Basically, Tony Stark creates the villain for this whole film.
Yep.
Ultron himself. And then Jarvis is actually going to supposedly be the Vision.
We haven't...
Right.
I like... When the trailer came out, I was so hoping we would get a glimpse of the Vision, and not a single thing.
Not... We've seen some... What was it? Artwork... somewhere, a poster of something in China, I believe it was.
He's in the gigantic poster that they released.
Yeah. So we have teaser art of him, which is far from what he's finally going to look like. He's going to definitely look a lot better all CGI'd out. But it's very interesting that they decided to keep the Vision out of the trailer.
Yeah, that can mean a lot of things. He just didn't fit. Or they're saving us, special thing for the movie.
There's a lot more trailers coming.
This is true.
Yeah, that's true. This is literally the teaser. And as far as teaser trailers go, there's a fucking lot in it.
There is tremendous amount.
Let's just show a bunch of scattered scenes here and there, and then the last 5 seconds, let's give everybody a nerdgasm with how awesome Ultron's gonna look.
I really want to talk about the we see Captain America's shield broken into.
Oh yeah.
I would like to talk about that.
So the whole thing with Ultron though is Ultron keeps reforming his armor. He's strengthening the suit, and they said we are going to see different phases and stages of this as the movie progresses.
Yeah.
And one of the things we know for sure is Ultron will be going to Africa.
Do we know this for sure?
Well,
we can extrapolate it.
We know some of the movie was filmed in Africa.
Oh, okay, good.
So the Black Panther is from Wakanda, Africa. Right?
Yes.
We know that much.
Made up country.
Yes. And how the Black Panther storyline went is Captain America originally got his shield from the people of Wakanda, which they've already altered that storyline here.
Not originally, because there were versions of his shield that maybe his newer shield, but there were versions of his shield where it was adamantium and not vibranium.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a adamantium vibranium mixture.
Right. The adamantium came from Wakanda.
Yeah.
The Wakanda actually holds the most amount of adamantium, which for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because of the dealings with X-Men and the property rights, they had to change it to vibranium. So we know that Howard Stark created Captain America's current shield, the one that he's been using. But we don't know where he got the vibranium from.
Yeah, but they said it...
Rumor has it that Ultron will be heading to Wakanda to acquire the rest of the vibranium to strengthen and make the final version of his suit.
There is a single shot of Andy Serkis in the trailer. Mm-hmm. In the Ultron trailer.
Yeah,
and
bearded
I guess from them filming in Africa, they have theorized that he is actually Ulysses Klaue.
Yes.
Who is
Black
Panther's villain. Mm-hmm. And he's probably going to be the contact or the whatever that helps Ultron get the vibranium to upgrade his suit.
Right, so with Ultron empowering himself with vibranium is how, in my opinion, Captain America's shield is going to be torn apart.
I thought that too.
And then there's also people are thinking that, and I don't know if it was confirmed somewhere, that earlier when they first encounter Scarlet Witch, she's going to fuck with everybody's heads.
Yeah. And I thought, Dom, the same as you, that Ultron would break the shield, but it's possible that that was just Scarlet Witch fucking with reality.
Because there's also a scene somewhere of, I don't know if it's in the shot with the shield, that you see, like, just in the corner of the shot, Thor laying there, assumed dead.
Yeah, it's Thor's hand, and you can only tell that it's Thor because you see part of the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. And then there's another scene where it's, like, kind of eerie. There's just 3 ballet dancers dancing, and then you look at the background, there's Steve playing the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
that?
Probably something from Scarlet Witch. No, what? Black Widow. Black Widow's fantasy, whatever. There was a scene that got leaked. It was like, I guess, a screening for somebody, but someone recorded it and put it on the internet, and it was a conversation between Tony and Steve about mind juju that Scarlet Witch put them under.
Ooh.
Right.
And it's a whole argument about... Oh, shoot, what was it actually about? They were arguing about, like, morality and, like, shit like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. In the first few seconds of the trailer, like, we see the over-panning shot, which actually looks like it's Africa. It looks like you see, grassy yellow kind of hills. You see, like, a city and everything in there. So it's not, like, suburban, It looks like more of a... Or it's not like, whatever. It looks to be, I think, Southern Africa is what I read in the...
Yeah, and the thing about Wakanda is that it's got a mix of architectures because it's influenced not by a lot of things. Like, there's ancient technologies there. It's sort of by things like vibranium and advances like that. They're also very secluded, and they try to keep themselves secret, so their landscape looks different than other parts of Africa.
Right. And then in a scene almost immediately following that is what looks to be a bunch of people rallying or rioting or something. And if you look closely in that scene, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are both there at the petition, which leads me to believe that is actually going to be a flashback, because from what we've known, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are currently in the hands of Hydra. So,
yeah. Yeah, and there are scenes where Scarlet Witch looks younger and other scenes where she looks older.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely holds up, that they being flashbacks.
All right, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Did they change Bruce Banner characters for this movie?
No.
It's still the same guy.
No, it's still Mark Ruffalo.
Still Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, and I listen, I'm gonna have all of the feels for Bruce Banner, because there's a shot of him on the plane or whatever, and they're flying away, and he's just like huddled, like with his shirt all ripped, like in the corner.
Yeah, that's like, what I just going back and watching through that again. It's like, that doesn't even look like him.
Yeah, that's him.
Mm.
It just gives me all the chills, because I'm like, no, you're gonna make me feel feelings again.
It was, at first I was like, who is that guy? And then I started noticing it was like Hulk, and then Black Widow, and then Captain America over on the far side, and right there in the middle, I was like, is that Bruce Banner? Really?
Yeah, he's all huddled with a blanket around him.
Yeah.
Presumably that's after his fight with Iron Man.
Right. And it seems that this may spark Civil War. I mean, we don't really have any other time to set up, because we're going to have Ant-Man between Age of Ultron and Captain America Civil War. So Ant-Man is probably not going to have any interaction with any of these characters. I don't see any reason to include that storyline whatsoever in Ant-Man. So Age of Ultron is going to have to set up Civil War.
And yeah. I saw that leaked scene, and based on how Tony and Steve were going at each other, that was very clearly the setup for it.
Yeah, because that's the exact moral debate that is in the Civil War comic book. The argument that they're having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
from what I was reading about Ant-Man the movie, it's not going to be overly connected to all the other movies. It's going to be tied in with like the universe and everything, but they're not going to continue the plot line of Avengers into Civil War and into everything else. It's just going to be, here's this guy, and we're going to have him. It's kind of setting up for Phase 3. Is really what it seems like doing.
Right. Do you think we're going to get an after credit scene for Ant-Man at the end of Ultron?
What?
Probably.
Oh, for Ant-Man. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Those after credit scenes don't actually have to be connected.
Right.
Like leading in, so it can be just completely maybe even showing the guy what's his name? Scott Lang is a criminal or whatever beforehand. Who knows?
Or they'll screw with us again, and like they did with the end of Guardians and gave us Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, as much as that's a nice, thing to see. I was like, I was expecting some substance.
Oh, they're actually
Howard
pushing
the Duck
for
movie.
Howard the Duck. Yeah, they're actually pushing for Howard the Duck movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going. It's more of the Guardians of the Galaxy style. They're pushing for more of that.
Yeah.
More of those offshoot brands they have.
Right.
Well, Guardians won't stay offshoot for too long. I mean, we're coming up on storylines that are really going to connect with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything? Do you guys have anything else for Age of Ultron before we move on to Ant-Man?
If we missed anything, you guys can go check out the article I wrote.
Yeah. We'll have a link for that in the description below. So
I want to watch it. That's what we left out. I want it now.
It's gonna be so good.
I think we all want to watch it.
So yeah, like I expected, a 30-minute discussion on a minute and a half trailer.
Yeah.
Let's move.
And we're just beginning. We have like 9 other movies to cover.
Right.
But this is the thing that we have the most information about is Age of Ultron.
You
so I
think
think
so?
that's why we're spending so much
You
time.
think so? You.
Well, that's next. I mean, really.
Yeah.
We have quite a bit to talk about. Believe me.
No. I'm not saying we don't have quite a bit to talk about. I'm saying the reason we spend so much time on this is because we actually have information.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of information on the rest too. Believe me. But Ant-Man. What do you guys even know about Ant-Man? The only thing that I really even know is Ant-Man has a special suit that shrinks his size, and with the shrinking size, he gains power. That's all I know. He gains strength.
Yeah. He actually was supposed to be the one to create Ultron. That's what I know. The most I know is from the Avengers cartoons that he's been in. Him and Wasp, who I really hope that they introduce because she's cool.
Yeah, I know Ant-Man was one of the original Avengers, like when it first started. I don't remember the whole lineup, but it wasn't the MCU Avengers we know now.
Yeah, no.
And so it's part of their whole no prequels, the no going back in time thing. Mm-hmm. They're not actually starting with the Hank Pym first Ant-Man. They're actually starting with the second Ant-Man, and it's kind of they're both together and all kinds of, I don't know. It's a weird script.
Yeah, I don't know much about what they're doing in this movie, or what it's going to be about, how it's going to tie in, or...
I mean, we barely have any footage. We have some leaked stuff
Yeah.
that came out. We don't even have a trailer. Like, you know, we have a couple production stills, but we really don't have much.
Yeah, the official, tagline like we do for every episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is Thief Scott Lang must aid his mentor, Dr. Hank Pym, in safeguarding the mystery of the Ant-Man technology, which allows its user to decrease in size but increase in strength from various new threats, and a plot heist will save the Earth.
Well, the helmet does more than shrink. It also makes he can grow. He can be larger,
Yeah.
human size. So it's
If they keep that
if they
from the
keep it
comic books,
right. They could just leave it as him.
Because that was very later in the comic books when he actually started to grow and he became Giant Man or something like that.
Well, I think he still kept the name Ant-Man. Just
Yeah, it was like whatever.
Was able to do both.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that Ant-Man was the original creator of Ultron, which we already know that it looks like Tony Stark is doing that. However, for Ultron himself, the Vision, Ultron created the Vision in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
However, I also have a feeling that the Vision will be created by Stark as opposed to the factory of Ultrons.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, in the trailer, it looked like Ultron had an Avengers logo or something on his chest.
Yep,
and he crushed another bot that looked exactly like him. So I assume Stark had like a couple prototypes of Avengers bots to help them do their thing. And Ultron just went wrong.
Yep. Another big rumor, I guess, at the end of Ultron now is all the Avengers are going to go their separate ways after this. Thor's been living on Earth the whole time, and all this stuff. And at the end of this, they're all going to kind of go their separate ways. And rumor has it Captain America may even go off and start his own group of Avengers, which are known in the comics as the West Coast Avengers.
Huh.
And just kind of grab a group of heroes and stuff. So Ant-Man very well may be one of those, and we may see a small role of Ant-Man carry over into Captain America 3, if that is the case.
Pretty cool. I'm down for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I was always wondered how they were going to take the MCU that we have and tie it into the Civil War timeline and the West Coast Avengers and all that just completely break apart. And I guess that's how they're heading.
Mm-hmm.
Curious.
Do you like my bottle?
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Stick it in front of your head and the Marvel logo shows up.
Yeah.
To put my hat back on.
So, yeah, Ant-Man, what do you guys think? Is Ant-Man a good move from the beginning of Phase 3 to the end of Phase 2, or do you think you would have rather seen it as the beginning of Phase 3?
I don't know. I feel like they are breaking the mold of having Avengers end the phases just because they have no time or have no choice or schedules need to align, So this is probably just an afterthought moving it, which kind of sucks, but hopefully...
Well, it never really moved positions.
No, that's true.
It's more like...
They moved...
More like we have this separate movie.
Yeah.
And
they moved the break.
Yeah, and it's not really connected to either or, so
Yeah.
How about we just make this a pivot point instead of saying, okay, this is done, this one starts.
Mm-hmm.
We have Avengers closing out Phase 2. We have this, what's next? The Captain America movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That starts off Phase 3. We have this one movie in the middle that kind of bridges the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, my inner OCD is just like dying because this one's not ending with Avengers like the other ones will.
Yeah, I guess because Phase 1 did end with the Avengers, and Phase 3 is ending with the Avengers.
Yeah, Phase 2 was supposed to end with Avengers as well, so...
It was, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be fine, but...
No, I think it'll end up looking better in the box set.
Well, it's just like on a Phase 3, you've got an Avengers movie almost in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Kind of. Yeah.
You got an Avengers movie, and then you have 2 movies in between it and its part 2.
right.
Mm.
Which is kind of wondering how they're gonna take the storyline there, unless it's like built for that.
Yeah.
There's like a massive timeline gap in between part 1 and part 2.
Either that or
Good question.
what's in between. It's
Inhumans and Captain Marvel. It could be that Captain Marvel and Inhumans are integral to Infinity War and happen at the same time.
Yeah, like their side stories.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's possible.
I mean, maybe.
Well, you know how they're trying to tell a story, and movie directors, producers, whoever, have always run up against this 3-hour time limit.
Yeah.
You can't make people sit in a movie theater for more than 3 hours.
Says
and
who?
if they have it's a common thing, you know.
I know.
Several movies that went over it, people like got fatigued and whatever.
You clearly didn't go to the movie theaters to watch the original Lord of the Rings special edition streamed all back to back to back.
Right.
Oh no,
Yeah.
actually, I've never done that.
That was a thing in the theaters for a little while. They streamed all of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
One of my conventions that I go to did that one year, and it was 14 hours long, and they said they're never doing it again. But yeah, they have, like I was trying to say about these movies, you know, it might have the story they're setting up might be so long that they literally need 10 to 12 hours to put it together.
Yeah, I mean,
after editing.
Yeah.
So, because it's like this location, that location, here doing this, you know, they might need a full 8 or 9 hours just to put everything together.
Yeah.
It's Infinity Wars. I mean, I don't. That's not surprising.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to Infinity Wars in a bit. For now, we are going to move on to Captain America: Civil War.
Yay!
Captain America: Civil War comes out May 6th, 2016. Filming is expected to begin this April.
I just want to nerd out for a second because Captain America has always been my favorite in the Marvel Universe. And when they started the movies, they didn't disappoint, so I'm just very, very happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, for me, it was kind of weird because Phase 1 started the whole thing, and it was kind of like, okay, well, these movies are kind of connected and whatever. And then they had Avengers, and that was like the big thing. They just tied everything together, and then after that, it was just like, okay, let's just go. You know? So,
yeah,
I like Captain America, but I think my favorite would have been, like, I guess, Loki.
Yeah.
Out of the whole thing, you know.
Loki's been kind of a fan favorite, but it'd be interesting to see if
everybody loves Loki.
It'd be interesting to see if Loki's involved in this film at all, Captain America, because we know the Hydra has the staff, and Loki's gonna want that back, but that might get resolved in Age of Ultron. We don't know.
I mean, depending on what exactly happened between Loki and Odin, I don't think he really cares about the staff anymore.
No, because he has...
Because the last we saw of Loki, he was impersonating Odin on the throne, and ruling Asgard was all he ever wanted to do.
And he has Odin's spear at this point, so, I mean, that staff is...
I'm not sure he cares.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I don't think we're going to see Loki until Ragnarok.
I think we'll probably see him...
starts Ragnarok.
I think we'll probably see him in Ultron. Maybe a small little cameo. I think we'll see him at the end of it in post-credit scene, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a post-credit scene, but I doubt he's going to leave Asgard for any reason.
In this Avengers Age of Ultron, he's in it, isn't he? I mean, they've had this thing for him.
They said he wasn't going to be in it.
I thought I saw somewhere where him and Thor were talking in it.
I think...
Wait, in the trailer?
Yeah.
No, I think it was confirmed somewhere that Tom Hiddleston makes a short appearance somewhere.
No,
Cleo's on that right now. She's looking.
Opposite. I
She's
heard
looking.
He's not going. Wait, Heimdall is in it. Heimdall is in it.
Yes.
Right. I think it's one of the hallucinations Scarlet Witch puts in Thor's head.
Okay, all right. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But he's not actually in the movie integral to the plot.
But Tom Hiddleston is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, getting on to Civil War. We're basically going to get the culmination of Iron Man versus Captain America. And we got to see at the press conference the two of them pitted against each other. And that's also when they announced the Black Panther, who will be portrayed by Chadwick Boseman. Yeah. So
excited for that movie.
We do know he's going to be in that film. So I'm kind of curious to what role they're going to show him in. You know, how big of a part in this film he's actually going to play.
In Civil War?
In Civil War, yeah. But in the comic books, we know that the storyline kind of revolved around the government passing a law for all heroes to reveal their secret identities.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of poses a little bit of a problem, as no one in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a secret identity.
Right.
So, will Black Panther have a secret identity? You know, maybe that'll be part of it. Because in the comics, Spider-Man was a huge role in this, and he was actually the only hero to reveal his secret identity. So, could they throw Black Panther in Spider-Man's role, since they couldn't acquire the rights to Spider-Man? I think is a possibility.
Possibly. I mean, in terms of Black Panther is not just T'Challa, who is the Black Panther we know.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther is the ceremonial persona of the ruler of Wakanda. So there have been many Black Panthers before T'Challa, and there will be many after, but perhaps it's going to be a similar role in the way, because Wakanda's like a secret. Like they try to keep their nation a secret because of the vibranium deposits there.
Right.
So maybe it's a similar way in that.
Well, the Marvel president did come out and reveal that the government wants to regulate and control the existing heroes. Mm-hmm. So that's probably going to be more of how the story unfolds. Kind of
with the control.
Register with the government, and them having kind of all say over everything that they do, and you know, stuff like that. So the movie's gonna deal with all the after effects that took place after the Age of Ultron. So
yeah, because that's gonna take like the hero destruction to a global scale.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna get governments to take notice.
Yeah. But in like I mentioned, Spider-Man played a pivotal role in that. He got caught in the middle of the Captain America and Iron Man feud. He started out on Iron Man's side, but then ended up shifting over to Captain America's. And Spider-Man, being such a well-liked character in the comics, helped bring the reader's loyalty to whatever side he was fighting for at the time. Doing that because there was a lot of rumors that they were trying to bring Spider-Man over into Captain America here. And my camera just died.
Well, that's good.
And it won't fix until I restart my computer. So, we will take a short break after we finish discussing Captain America.
Okay, then.
With no camera.
That's okay, because I actually didn't hear a single thing you said because my audio was like. Boop, 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 boop,
yeah. So I'll just host from that. That's fine.
Technical difficulties. Fun
things and stuff.
Ultron hacked your camera.
I know he doesn't want me revealing things.
Yeah.
But with Spider-Man not being part of the MCU, having him play this role of the middleman here wouldn't really make much sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's further reasoning for me to believe that Black Panther is going to kind of change this role, because, yeah, Black Panther isn't already an established character, but it's something that they want to establish, and they have movies planned and more. what's his name? Chadwick
Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman. He signed on for 5 movies.
Yeah.
So, if they were to squeeze Spider-Man in here, there's no plans for any Spider-Man movies right now. So it would just be like a really awkward appearance that meant nothing to us.
Unless one of the heroes they use, maybe they use Skye now that she has superpowers.
Yeah, Skye is actually supposed to be an Avenger, so
Yeah.
that's actually going to move forward, I think.
Well, in the last episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's revealed that Skye is actually Quake.
Yeah.
That's the word, Quake.
So,
Daisy Johnson.
Yeah.
But how would you guys feel if they did introduce Spider-Man in here?
That would be really fucking interesting, considering...
If they could pull it off, like,
Yeah.
if they could pull it off without giving any advanced warning, like, you go to see the movie and all of a sudden it's suddenly Spider-Man.
Or they could, like, make mention of a, man named Peter Parker and, just name drop him.
Yeah, they've said, it could be just a black herring to throw people off. They said many times filming is starting in April. The script is locked. There's no way they can put Spider-Man into the Civil War. But they could always drop him into the after credits cameo slot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just, where they cut to Thanos or they cut to Howard the Duck. This time they cut to Peter Parker swinging through, whatever. And that's like, you get like 3 seconds of web slinging and done.
Yeah. Maybe. They could just, they've name-dropped Doctor Strange a couple times.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then again in The Winter Soldier. So they might just name-drop Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It'd actually be a lot easier, I think, to kind of slide those into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. than it would be, like, actually the movies.
Well, they slid it into The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
When, what's his name was rattling off, Sitwell was rattling off, like, names of targets. One of them was Stephen Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could do that. Like, little few-second blurbs, just pop people off. That'd be nice.
Yeah. The other thing is, if Marvel does acquire the rights for Spider-Man to allow him into the movie in any way, shape, or form, they've already said that they don't want Andrew Garfield.
Good.
Right.
Sorry, I don't like him.
Oh, and that director of the Spider-Man movies, I can't remember his name now, but he was specifically called out as being, as soon as Marvel takes over the rights, he's no longer going to be working for them. Because he made some really, they weren't really racist remarks, but it was more non-inclusive. He said, as long as I'm working on this project, Peter Parker will always be Spider-Man, and there will never be any of these other Spider-Mans, like they named off like 2 or 3. There was like a female Spider-Man. There was like one from Africa or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
Well, I mean, and the comics have a Latino Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that as long as I'm the one running this, I will not allow Spider-Man to be anybody other than Peter Parker. And Disney said, okay, well, you're not going to be running it.
Well, fuck you! Do you know how much money we're worth?
Well, the thing,
more than your movie's gonna make.
Yeah.
What I've been reading, it's not a matter of if Disney's going to take this back over. It's a matter of when.
Yeah.
Because Sony is kind of just over a barrel right now.
Yeah.
They
Sony
kind of
Japan
ran
is
Spider-Man
pulling
into the
rank.
ground. Like, did you hear about the 2 rumored Spider-Man movies that they were the spin-off movies?
They've had like
Yes.
5 spin-off
Oh my
movies.
god, the fucking one with Aunt May where she's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. not S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
Well,
basically.
I don't know. In the comic books, that kind of makes a little sense because she was, what is that thing called? A cosmic something or other from the Fantastic Four universe. So,
I don't
yeah.
know if that tells you very well.
Cosmic rays. Whatever the heck gave them.
You
their
know, like
powers.
Silver Surfer, the Herald. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Like a cosmic herald. She was like, okay, now Agent Now Aunt May is, Herald of Galactus. What?
Yeah.
they just
that's
got
right.
crazy.
I actually remember that. Okay, forgot about that.
So it was like, okay, well, where are they gonna take this idea of Aunt May only movie? And Disney kind of looked at it. It's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Nope.
Shutting it down.
Pretty much, which would kind of make things very awkward and whatnot. And Marvel did say that if they did get the rights to Spider-Man, that they were not looking to do an origin story again. They weren't going to make a big love interest kind of film. Peter Parker was already going to be Spider-Man if they establish him in here.
Yeah.
And they'll just roll with it. So
I know a certain other giant comic book company that could take a lesson from that.
Is it 2 letters?
How many more times do we need to see the Waynes murdered?
All right.
It's true. But also getting back to the Civil War, I think this is me just personally thinking. I think Bucky Barnes may actually be responsible for the murder of Stark's parents.
Yes. Wait. No. Yeah. That was in Winter Soldier, because when was it? It was what's his name? The German scientist that was in the computer.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah, he was talking about all of the things that they've had to do over the years, and one of them was like an accident newspaper clipping with Howard Stark's face on it and with an X through it, and it was like, oh, that was clearly a hit.
Mm-hmm.
They murdered him.
Yes. So I 100% believe that was Bucky Barnes, who at the time was working for Hydra.
Yep.
And if that is the case, Steve Rogers' best friend, Bucky Barnes, that's just going to put more fuel on the fire for Stark and Rogers to be angry at each other, and just more fuel for the Civil War here.
Yeah.
So,
I like it.
Yeah, I really hope that
I need more Bucky.
Yes.
There's only so many times I can rewatch The Winter Soldier. I need more Bucky.
If they do bring back Bucky, I know one of my friends will be very happy. She watched that movie like 10 times just for Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, I think me and my dad watched the movie like 4 times in 1 week, and we were like, yeah, let's watch it again.
We do know for a fact Sebastian Stan will be in Captain America Civil War. So
we do?
Yes, he has been cast for it.
Okay, good. Fact.
Good man.
Yes. So there is that.
Good.
But before we move on to Doctor Strange, we're going to take a short break.
Yay.
And,
Good, because there's about to be a very loud cat fight behind me, I think.
And we will return shortly.
Pussy Riot.
Hi, Luna. What's the matter? Is Josie being mean?
Wow. Welcome back, everyone. And we are moving right along. We are moving from Captain America Civil War to Doctor Strange. I really don't know a whole lot about Doctor Strange.
The Cumberbund.
The Cumberbund.
Yes, Benedict Cumberbatch. Whatever. How do you pronounce his name?
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch. AKA Smog.
A.K.A. Khan.
AKA Smog.
Sherlock.
Yeah.
A.K.A. finally playing a good guy.
Yes, we'll be playing Doctor Strange. Shooting begins May of this year.
Guy?
So they're wasting no time on this.
No.
And there's even a rumor that he's going to have a cameo in Age of Ultron.
Yay!
So whether that's a post-credit scene, we don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What we do know is this will be the first introduction to the supernatural world in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, involving scientific elements as well, including quantum mechanics, string theory, and parallel dimensions.
Well, I mean, we've sort of gotten a bit of magic with Asgardians, but it's sort of just like that was just science skinned as magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
to be completely honest, I don't really know much about Doctor Strange. So, what do you guys know about him from the comics?
He's an actual doctor.
Yeah, he is an actual doctor. He's a Bamf.
Like he went.
And his costume is like the coolest thing ever.
It is. He's the Sorcerer Supreme, which is, if I remember correctly, a practitioner of magic who is better at it than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Is like the definition of it. It's like he can do magic and he's better at it.
Yeah, the idea I've always gotten from my friends talking about it and everything was that the Sorcerer Supreme was Earth's representative of magic.
Mm-hmm.
So when the other alien races and other planets ask Earth for their sorcerer, then the Sorcerer Supreme is the one they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. It took a while for them to nail down the actor. They had a lot of casting issues. And the movie is coming out November 4th, 2016. However, we originally were told that not necessarily this movie, but we were told this movie a movie was supposed to come out in July of 2016. So one could only assume that they pushed this back because of those casting issues.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But yeah. Outside of that, are you guys looking forward to Doctor Strange, or is this gonna be like, I don't know, for me, Ant-Man, I'm very skeptical about Ant-Man. Like, I had my reservations about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I honestly did not think that movie was going to do well, and it ended up being like the best movie of the year or summer or something like that. It was absolutely ridiculous. And that's only because it's an unestablished franchise that I did not know about at all whatsoever. You know, I feel like Ant-Man is going to be like that, but I feel it's got more to prove because it's going to be almost like a solo film, where Guardians of the Galaxy had a lot of people to work off of. You know, it was kind of all about the group, this team coming together. Whereas Ant-Man is all about this, you know, one singular person. Do you think Doctor Strange is going to kind of fall into the same kind of category?
Who's playing Ant-Man?
I don't even know.
There's two different people. They actually have both Ant-Mans in it.
Yeah, because they, like we said, Marvel is done doing the origin story. Yeah. So the original Ant-Man is going to be in the film, passing the suit down to the new Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well, there's assumed to be an origin story there because they said the No More Origin Stories is starting with Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to get his going through medical school, his his practice as a doctor, the tragedy. I forgot what happened to him again. His wife died, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that kind of stuff doesn't really sound that appealing anyway, as far as superhero movies go.
Oh no, he was in an accident. He was in a car accident, and his hands were injured, and he lost the ability to perform surgery. I think that was it.
Interesting.
Something prevented him from continuing, and he didn't want to be. He was too arrogant to be like a consultant or anything like that.
Right.
So then he went on a journey to find himself.
Though this will have already happened by the time the movie is going. It's something that they could handle within the movie in a quick flashback. We don't even need a whole lot. You know, they can just boom, quick flashback. You see how the accident happened. You don't need the whole origin story.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
As long as you don't have
Strange, though?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry, I only asked about Ant-Man because of... in movies that stand alone, like you were saying, Guardians of the Galaxy, it depends on the charisma of the leader, the lead actor.
Right.
Cumberbatch definitely has that charisma.
Oh, definitely. 100%. But kind of in the listing of all these movies, like... where does Doctor Strange fall on this list for you in Phase 3? Like, are you as excited about Doctor Strange as you are for Captain America? Probably not.
Well, I'm biased, so...
She's biased. I'm more excited for Doctor Strange than I am Captain America.
Really?
I'm biased.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's... Phase 3 is kind of... They're setting up for the future more than anything else, because there's storylines that are ending, you know... Tony Stark even says it in Age of Ultron. You know, this is the end of everything we've worked for. And so, what was that?
It's the end of the path I set us on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my headset's doing that thing where it cuts you guys off again. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
But So I knew you were talking. I couldn't hear what you're saying. Yeah, they did. So it's like Phase 3 is setting up all these new characters. So it's like it's leading into more storylines, and other than just constantly focusing on these same 5 people that were in Avengers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, you can see that just by the lineup, because you have, by the named characters, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. I mean, we already have 3 new heavy hitters on the table. Not to mention, I assume soon the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to meet the Avengers in some form or another.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Maybe not in Guardians 2, but I mean, when we get into Infinity War, there's no way they can't meet.
See, there's a way about it. They'll figure out a way to make it happen, because if you look in the comics, the Kree Empire, which is near where Guardians of the Galaxy took place, is in the Andromeda Galaxy. And all of the planets, planet Xandar, planet whatever the hell, where they found the orb, they gave their actual star designations for stars in the Andromeda Galaxy. So I guess that was their little hint, like, hey, if you look this crap up, you're going to find that, yeah, we're doing that,
Yeah.
And I still expect Red Skull to show up somewhere in there.
Yes, I want
that's
Red
where
Skull
he
to
went.
be Guardians 2. That's what I want.
He's got to show up sooner or later, whether it be it Civil War or
He's not dead.
he's gonna show up. He's gonna show his little red head up somewhere.
That's what I meant.
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving, when asked about it, said he would probably turn down the role if they asked him again.
What?
This was years ago. Like,
okay.
When they did an interview with him, he said, I'd probably not reprise the role.
I hope to God he's changed his mind.
Me too.
I love him.
Production budget alone would probably change his mind.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
But
Hugo
Here's your
Weaving.
salary, sir.
Here is more money than you made for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, and the Matrix combined.
Right.
Pretty much.
Ah!
Dollar signs.
But
Disney, we
speaking
can write
of
$1 trillion check if we want.
Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Guardians 2 will be coming May 5th, 2017.
And I would have had a raccoon mask if I had more time.
Oh, clearly.
The raccoon hat somewhere around here.
just grab a tree branch and hold it up.
I am
My plant
Groot.
died. I can't even grab my plant. My plant is dead.
This doesn't count.
Groot died too, so there you go.
We have confirmation that all 5 of the heroes will be returning. However, the director/writer also wants to add another female to the roster. Moondragon, which is the daughter of Drax, is currently the top list of fan favorites. So
You mean Cosmo the Space Dog is not a fan favorite?
No, that dog was hella cute.
Yeah, but that dog is one of the Guardians from the comic book.
I know. He's still hella cute.
The director wants to showcase the universe side of Marvel, and he really wants to establish the universe itself as a separate franchise. So they're really going to be focusing on that more than they are setting up any possibilities of tie-ins to the Avengers right now. The only tie-in that we're probably going to end up seeing is Thanos to set up Infinity War.
Exactly. But that's why I think we're not going to see them meet the Avengers until Infinity Wars, probably even Part 2. Because if Thanos is involved, I would assume the Guardians would be there, because they've already had the run-in with Ronan the Accuser, and the which gem was that?
Power.
Yes,
Power
it is Power Gem.
So I assume anything else with gems is going to be on their radar.
Yeah, do you think we're going to see another gem in this Guardians?
We have 2 unaccounted for, so maybe.
Yeah, I still swear it's going to be Doctor Strange, and I guess Guardians 2 will be the other one. I like, they're going to reveal a gem in Doctor Strange. That's my feeling, but I don't know.
Yeah, they might.
What if it turns out that Doctor Strange has the mind gem all along, and there's a different one in Loki's scepter?
Maybe. Yeah, the thing in Loki's scepter might not even be a gem. I think it's just so you can really make the parallels in the, with the evidence that's been shown to us. That I think everyone's just sort of taken it as canon without there being any official confirmations.
The real only story we definitely know will be tackled within Guardians of the Two is who is Star-Lord's father.
Yay! He's an angel.
Yeah, that's what his mother. That's how his mother described him.
He's an Asimar.
Who do you guys think Star-Lord's father is?
If they go the comic book route, Jason of Spartax, another advanced alien empire.
Right.
Okay, hold on, I gotta pull that up.
However, Jason of Spartax was Peter Quill's father, as you said in the comics. Emperor of the
Spartoi Empire.
Yeah. But the director/writer James Gunn has already confirmed that is not the direction they are going with that.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that picture.
I have no idea. This is not Guardians is not a storyline I was familiar with before the movie, so I have no guesses.
Yeah. He did say in an interview, he said it's not about the revelation of who his father is. It's about what his relationship is to that character. The other kind of hints that we have, so we could really only speculate at this point, but the other hints that we got is Peter's mother said that he had angelic qualities. He travels in the same circles as Yondu. Yondu was hired to collect Peter.
And bring him to his father.
Yep.
Which he never did. Good job on that.
Right. Yondu thinks that Peter's father is a jackass. Peter's father is an ancient being of an unknown race.
Are the Asgardians known to the...
Ooh.
How would that be for a nice twist?
I don't know.
It's got angelic qualities.
But, so I really started
Loki
thinking
and
about
Thor
this.
have another brother.
I really started thinking about it. And just for them to give us someone random at this point is not going to be very satisfying. It's not going to pay off well. So it's got to be somebody that we already know. It's got to be an established character.
From an ancient race, established character.
It's Heimdall.
The only person, there's only one person that makes sense to me.
Go. Who?
The Collector.
Oh, damn! But he's not very angelic.
He's bathed in white hair. He's got this kind of weird glow. He could have some artifact that he's holding on to that kind of gave him something the first time his mother saw him.
Didn't Peter meet the Collector?
Yeah.
He did.
I mean, that was when the woman grabbed the crystal and exploded everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if
that'd be kind of odd.
Why hire? Yeah, why hire a bounty hunter to collect Peter for you?
The operative word is to collect Peter.
I know. But why hire the bounty hunter to come get Peter and bring him to you? Peter just walked into your shop, basically.
Right.
But he hired him 15 years ago or 20 years ago to do that. So
right. So he may not have recognized him.
He may not know who he is now.
Yeah.
But
he may not have recognized
I don't think
him.
so. He doesn't seem like the kind of... He doesn't seem to have that kind of charisma that the mother described.
Well, in the comics, the Collector is an elder of the universe, which would very well make him an unknown race. He's ancient.
It's interesting. I'll give you that.
So that's my theory. I'm not saying it's true, but
yeah, I like my Asgardian theory.
It makes the most sense to me.
Asgardian.
See that picture that James Gunn shared on Facebook?
No.
It said Guardians of the Galaxy 2 worksheet. Who is Peter Quill's dad? And it's basically a Sony joke. But it has a bunch of listings. It says Galactus, Jason of Spartax, Tony Stark from the future, Howard the Duck, Ben Parker, Luke Skywalker, Kevin Bacon, and then it says Kim Jong-un, and it's marked through. It says nope. It's like, yeah, this is funny.
Oh God, that's funny.
because a lot of people are saying that Yondu is going to turn out to be Peter's father, and I don't see that happening at all. That's too obvious.
No. I read a really great theory that connected the whole thing throughout the first Guardians movie. Oh God, I gotta find it now to read because it's too amazing for me to not mention.
Someone said Yondu when after the Guardians 1 had just come out, and someone said Yondu. I was like, oh, that's interesting, and then I thought about it. But Yondu says this line, like we see him say this line where it's like his father asked me to collect him, but he's an asshole. Those were his words. So if he was the father, then that wouldn't make any sense at all.
Right.
Well, Yondu is an asshole, so.
That's true, but why would he be talking about himself like that?
I don't know.
I could see him calling himself an asshole, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Also, another very non-angelic character.
Yeah. The one thing I thought was interesting about the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and the stuff we know is they actually... Who was it? I can't remember which guy it was, either the writer or the producer or somebody. Somebody on the movie was like, yeah, you have to remember that these guys aren't heroes. They are criminals. Yeah. They are villains. And we're going to see that in the second movie. Okay. It's going to be a much darker movie.
Yeah. I know the collective group of us, because I actually went to theater. I saw it with Clio and Mike and Mike's wife, Omi. We went to see it, and we were actually fairly disappointed on the lack of scenes involving the Collector. After seeing him in what movie was he in the post-credits scene?
I wasn't.
Was that Avengers?
Thor 2.
Thor 2.
I wasn't disappointed with the Collector.
Well, I'm saying that based on the scene that we got out of Thor 2, we thought he was going to have a much more active role in the movie. Like he was going to be more central to the plot.
And I mean, he kind of was. He wasn't in it a lot.
Right.
What he was in it for was integral to everything that happened.
Right. We just assumed we were going to see a lot more of him based on that post-credit scene, which we didn't. And that further goes to say if he ends up being Peter's father, it kind of even brings him more into the spotlight and makes it more meaningful. Because outside of that, what other character do we really like or know of that would impact us to discover that it's Peter's father?
Odin.
Odin.
Odin?
Yeah, a known character, ancient deity. That's why I said, are Asgardians known to
unknown?
The Xandar?
They said
no,
unknown.
But here's the question: do the Xandarians know about Asgard?
Asgard. Okay.
So, I mean, if that's the case, then if they don't know who, Odin is, it's possible.
Yeah, I guess unknown is relative to them. I'm thinking unknown as in someone we've never heard of.
Yeah, but then I have to take that back because Asgardians traveled to, nowhere and dropped the Aether off with the Collectors, and the Collector knew that they were Asgardians. So
yeah.
I mean, the Collector knows.
They're known of in that sector of space.
Collector.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Loki.
It's Loki. Oh my God! Can you imagine it?
So Star-Lord is part Frost Giant.
Star-Lord is. Yeah.
I'm still going with the Collector, and so I guess
It's interesting.
It is. We'll see. May 5th, we'll find out for sure.
Who knows? I don't even know.
May 5th, we'll find out for sure.
It's Ben Parker. There we go.
Ben Parker.
It's going off this list. It's either Ben Parker or Howard the Duck.
It's Howard the Duck.
I mean, he did have the little post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So, it's Howard the Duck.
Moving right along to Thor Ragnarok.
And this would be
apocalypse, bitch.
Yeah, this would be the other movie I'm excited for, tied with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna get some answers to what Loki did with Odin.
Yes, for sure. Thor Ragnarok will be in theaters July 28th of 2017.
That's a long time to wait.
The word Ragnarok directly translates to the end of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've been told, it will have huge implications on the entire MCU, much in the way that Captain America 2 did.
Yeah. Interesting.
So this is going to be the Captain America 2 of Phase 3.
Excellent. That is actually really exciting because... Yeah.
Because,
I lost just cause. Just
because. To me, it was really shocking that they had such universe-impacting things in Marvel's in Captain America instead of in Avengers, because the big things were in Avengers, but yet now we're having the entire implosion of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Captain America, which is not even a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie. It's not in Avengers. It's not anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're actually pulling all this stuff, and they could put plot and major events in any of the movies. It's really good, I think. I like it.
In the comics, there were two tie-ins with the word Ragnarok, one of which was a cyborg clone that Tony Stark created in Civil War of Thor.
That'd be interesting.
I'm going to say this is the most unlikely of the two. However, just the implications of it being connected to Civil War makes it a possibility. The other is literally an apocalyptic event that occurs in Asgard.
Yeah.
Which seems to be the more likely of the two.
Yeah.
They could fuse it and do both, but...
It's true.
We're leaning more toward the apocalyptic event.
Which Loki starts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
And in it, spoilers, all of the gods are killed. However, they're all reborn, and they have no memories of their past.
I wonder if this is to tie in the new Thor in the comic books to the MCU later.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Because Thor himself loses the worthiness, I think is the way they put it, to wield Mjolnir, and this new, I don't know if she has a name, but this new woman picks it up and becomes Thor. So
I'm just hoping.
However, you got to keep in mind that this is happening before Infinity War. So if they do change the actor or something like that, which is possible, that we won't be seeing what's the actor that plays Thor?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, we would not be seeing him in Infinity War if that was the case.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is going to set up a lot for Infinity War.
Who knows? I mean,
I'm just...
But there's a huge but.
Yes. Huge butts are good.
Yes.
Not really.
So in the comics, there's a storyline called Avengers Disassembled. Which,
all about that base.
No trouble. Yeah, in the comics, there's a story called The Avengers Disassembled. And in it, Thor actually dies, and this paves way for a new set of heroes. So, I believe Thor will die in this movie. I think that is 100% going to happen.
Interesting.
However, I do believe that Chris Hemsworth will be in Infinity Wars after he dies.
You think he's gonna die and then be in Infinity Wars?
Yes. And how, you ask? The time gem.
You ask how.
The time gem.
There you go. I was going to say that this would be one of the movie opportunities for them to reveal the time gem. Ragnarok.
Okay.
Also, what I've been trying to say, I hope they go with the comic storyline. In Ragnarok storyline in the comics, Thor kills Loki, rips his head off, but the head doesn't die, and Thor wears it on his belt while Loki's disembodied head, pokes fun at him.
Oh my god.
Jabs at him.
Yes.
Has commentary on Thor's actions.
Yes, please. Oh my God, that'll be
Tom
amazing.
Hiddleston plays a head.
Plays no. Tom Hiddleston plays Thor's belt. That's a.
The part of Thor's belt will now be
Wow.
played by Tom Hiddleston.
Wow. Is Clio lagging out
Cleo,
anyone
yeah.
else?
We're
She's
losing her.
roboting out bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I really want from Ragnarok is.
What I really want from Ragnarok is
What I really want from
that.
Ragnarok is to see the other realms.
To see the other realms.
Because we've seen 3 of the. Damn it! Is it better now?
No. Hey, you stopped and then it's like, what I really want
see
is.
the other realms.
Yeah, we got that.
No?
You want to see other realms?
We've
Okay,
seen
you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because nobody said anything after I said it.
Yeah, there was a big lag, but I believe you caught back up now.
Okay, good. I want to see the other realms, like the Dwarven realm and the fucking. There's a lot. There's,
we've seen Asgard,
Asgard,
seen
Midgard.
Midgard. We've seen Vanaheim in the
Jotunheim
opening of
and
Thor.
Vanaheim.
Jotunheim, and I mean,
Earth?
if you that's Midgard. If you count, is the Dark World one of the 9 realms? Because if the Dark World was one of the 9 realms, then we've seen Mushbel. No, not
Well, that's also the Dark
Svartalfheim.
Elves. Svartalfheim. We've seen that.
Svartalfheim. Yeah, so we've seen 5 of the 9.
4. Wait, what's the 5th one?
Midgard, Asgard, Vanaheim, Jotunheim, and Svartalfheim. That's 5.
What's Vanaheim?
It was in the opening of Thor 2 where they were fighting.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Home of the Vanir. Okay, Vanaheim.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see Nidavellir, the home of the dwarves. That's all I want.
And you got Alfheim, the home of the elves, and then you got Muspelheim, which is all fire, and
Oh, well,
what's the other one?
I mean, if
It's all ice.
if we're going by Ragnarok in Norse myth, we're gonna have to see what's the fire one?
Muspelheim.
Muspelheim.
I don't. That's a butchered pronunciation.
Whatever. We're gonna have to see that one because it's the fire giants that start Ragnarok. They break down the walls of Asgard and they wreck the city.
Right.
They set the Rainbow Bridge on fire. Like it's pure chaos.
Yay.
So
Sounds fun.
if we're gonna go that way, then we're gonna have to see that world.
They turned the Rainbow Bridge into a fire cannon. That works.
Basically.
Yeah.
Sounds like a party.
I want to see the dwarves.
Maybe. Moving right along. November 3rd, 2017. Black Panther.
Woo!
Black Panther party.
I am super stoked for this one.
He is the cousin of the Pink Panther.
Right.
I'm kidding. Yeah, like we mentioned before, he's portrayed by Chadwick Boseman. He will have debuted in Civil War, so he'll kind of be established at this point.
And I mean, we will have heard of him in Ultron, especially if we get Claw and if they go to Wakanda. So we're going to have heard of him.
Yep. So he's rumored to be signed on for 5 movies. My guesses are Captain 3, we already know. Black Panther, obviously, he's going to be in. Which leaves us with Avengers Infinity Wars Part 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly room for a Panther sequel.
Unless he makes an appearance in Age of Ultron that we, and not just like mention of him, but actual him.
Right.
My guess is we might see. Maybe not though. I was guessing we might see Chaka, his father, but he might be dead already. Because Black Panther's whole thing is he's a little bit like Batman. He sees his father murdered and wants revenge.
Yep.
It is, however, Claw that does the murdering.
Right.
So
Right.
maybe his father will be alive in Avengers.
Could be. What we do know about the story of the Black Panther, we know we're not going into origin stories, but the story of the Black Panther itself is the hometown is set in a long hidden nation of Wakanda, Africa. You mentioned T'Challa. And this begins 10,000 years in the past. from the current timeline. And it deals with the tribes of Wakanda being united under a single chieftain, which is the royal bloodline, known as the Black Panther. In it, they pass a position to the oldest son once they teach them the ways of Wakandan magic and their tradition, the ways of the warrior. They ingest herbs to be more connected with the Panther god Bast, and T'Challa's kind of motivation is his father's death, and he wants justice. So we're probably not going to see a whole lot in terms of the origin. We'll probably get some bit of a flashback, I'm going to assume, in some way, shape, or form. But this is already going to be an established character that we've learned from Civil War. So I don't think they're going to spend too much time on that.
I really hope we see a lot of Wakanda, though, because Wakanda's always... It's an interesting and definitely new kind of setting.
Yep.
So I'd like to see a lot of Wakanda.
Mm-hmm. Outside that, we have Avengers Infinity War Part 1, which will air May of 2018. Then immediately following that is Captain Marvel, July 6th of 2018. In it, the introduction of Carol Danvers. The entire story will take place on Earth. It is not going to be involved traveling. And she makes her debut here, so we will not see her in any of the films beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I don't even really know who Captain Marvel is. So does anyone here well versed in Carol Danvers?
Well, there's Captain Marvel,
But
who is Kree.
Who is Kree?
And he passes his powers to her.
Mm-hmm.
Is it by an accident?
I thought she got her power. There was it was a Kree device that made imagination into reality. I forget the name of it. That had something to do with with her getting her powers.
Yeah.
Which are numerous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's basic. I mean, if you look at all her powers, she's basically Superman.
Right.
A cooler, more interesting Superman.
Yes, a much more interesting. I mean, not completely invincible, where it's like, oh, there's no danger to Superman. I mean, what's the point?
Right.
But yeah,
that very rare mineral known as kryptonite is nowhere to be found ever, except for every villain in the world.
Yep.
Right. So I actually kept the page pulled up because she has so many powers. I need a list of them. She has super strength, super speed, super stamina, super durability, super agility, superhuman reflexes. She can fly. What the hell does this even mean? She is subconsciously able to anticipate the moves of her opponents. She's immune to contaminants. She can project photonic blasts, and she can absorb all forms of energy.
Interesting.
Cool.
And she can augment her strength and energy, her energy projection up to the force of atomic weapons. Which is fun.
Pretty dope.
I think
probability control then.
I
And
think
she
the
can fly
most
through space.
important part of this movie is this will be the first female lead character we have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not that it's the first hero we have, because obviously we have Black Widow and
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, so we have some characters already, but this will be the first one where it's the main focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
A lead.
And everybody wanting a Black Widow movie still is not getting it.
nope.
She's been in enough. We have her in a lot of movies, so
She lives as an enigma. Having her own film would reveal too much. As much as we all desperately want to know what happened in Budapest, I don't think we're ever gonna know.
I think we will.
Budapest? You think we're gonna know what happens in Budapest?
I think we will.
Really? I'm being less and less convinced of that the more I see.
It won't be in a movie. It'll be on an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
What happened in Budapest?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think Marvel still has some surprises for us in Phase 3. But we'll get to that in a minute. Next up is the Inhumans.
Which
Yay.
they're slowly setting up using Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They are. Inhumans drops November 2nd of 2018. So we still have about a little less than 4 years away.
I want Vin Diesel to play Black Bolt.
I think that would be great. We had this discussion.
We did.
That would be great.
Yes. They have been setting this up, as you said, with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We had the Diviner, which they introduced the Terrigen crystals. The crystal itself is kind of what has been killing people.
That hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah, it's true. But
I mean, it could be just the container that's killing people.
Well, the argument I have towards this is at the end of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finale, we see it open up, and the crystal comes out, and we see the Terrigen mist, right? The mist comes, and it affects Skye, and it affects Reyna. Right?
Yeah.
Two of which we're pretty sure are Inhumans. Skye has already been confirmed outside the show is an Inhuman. Reyna is highly speculated, but it's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right.
The one that is not affected is Trip.
Yes.
Right? Trip did not immediately turn into stone, or whatever.
They got encased in it.
Right. Trip did not. Trip ended up kicking the stand, knocked the crystal over,
Shattered it.
A shard flew out and hit him in the chest, and that's what turned him. So he had direct contact with the crystal itself,
I rewatched
which turned him
it.
into that.
He had shards of crystal end of the container in him.
Yes.
I rewatched it because he had
crystal.
he had metal sticking, the gold metal sticking out of him as well. So yeah, he had both in him. So there was no conclusive which is causing the turn humans to stone.
Because he kicked it with his boot.
Right.
Yeah. Hey,
The notable part about that, though, was the mist did not affect him whatsoever.
No.
Yeah.
So these Terrigen mist bombs that we've been talking about on our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast would be unaffected by normal humans.
Yes.
Anyone who is considered an Inhuman would be affected and basically be their transformation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
which is probably what this movie will deal with. There's a device in the comics called the Terrigenesis bomb, which spreads the mists over the entirety of the planet. So that could be what it deals with.
yes, and I have a feeling that will be directly tied in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point or another.
And we already know there are Inhumans in the cinematic universe because of Captain No Eyes there.
Right. Yes, the very end scene of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we get to see the man with no eyes. But it seems the Inhumans are Marvel's, the MCU's response to not being able to have mutants.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't remember where Quake got, Daisy got her powers in the comics, but she was not an Inhuman, and I'm pretty sure she was not a mutant. So I think
I'm not sure that it's a response to not having mutants. I think it's just we don't have mutants to include heroes with powers, like those kinds of powers. So what other kinds of characters do we have that have those kinds of powers?
Right.
Well,
And the answer was Inhumans.
well, if you look at it, if they had all the Marvel people, like they had the X-Men, they had everything that Fox and Sony had control of, then we wouldn't have had Inhumans. It would have been like the same 5 or so people that were in the comic books, and these people would have been mutants and mutants and Morlocks and whatever. But now that we don't, they have to have something. What's in the Marvel universe that could be this but isn't. They went with Inhumans.
Yeah.
Well, because when the mist affects a potential Inhuman, pretty much anything can happen. They could gain superpowers, they could transform into some hideous beast, or they could die outright. I mean, there's the full gauntlet of pretty much everything possible. So
I'm gonna say right now, this movie, outside of the Avengers, is the one I'm looking the most forward to. In Phase 3. Just because it's going to be so different from everything else. I mean, to a degree, Doctor Strange is too, but I feel like I can relate more to the Inhumans because of like movies like X-Men. It's more familiar, you know. So,
yeah, I feel like we'll have how many more seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. by then?
4
We'll
more.
have 4 more seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there'll be a lot of groundwork for Inhumans, especially since one of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is an Inhuman.
yes.
I foresee a scene where Tony Stark meets Black Bolt, and he spends the next hour trying to get him to say something.
The other noteworthy thing is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver very well may be Inhumans.
I thought I read somewhere that they weren't going to be. Although it would cover their asses with where they got their powers from.
Mm-hmm.
It would, but they could also just leave it like super vague. Like not mention why they have. They just, have powers. Okay.
Well, yeah, because there's a bunch of people in, what is it? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that have powers that are not, that they didn't get from a Terrigen Mist. Like, what's his face? Blizzard. His machine got struck by lightning while he was touching it.
Right.
Now he can control ice. And then you got, the Transforming Man. Where the hell did he get his powers to? Absorbing Man. That guy. Where did he get his powers from? Obviously not a Terrigen Mist, so they could just leave it vague, like they did with him.
They can.
Wait, wasn't he an Ant-Man villain?
However, the reason...
Absorbing Man, probably.
The reason I bring this to your attention is the day after the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finale. The Avengers and X-Men Axis number 7 came out, and their backstory has been retconned.
Interesting.
It dropped December 10th, and they are not related to Magneto.
Kidding me?
Damn it.
Ah, well. That's like how many years of comics have they been related to him?
Right. So it's going to be some kind of origin story of that, something along the lines of, because they've only hinted at this far that they may not be. They've kind of planted the seed, and the creators and all that have said, they're not going to be, But so it's going to be some kind of storyline along the lines that they were believed to have been this whole time, but something about their past that they didn't know about changed this, and so that's why I think that it's very possible that they may be revealed to be Inhumans at some point. But the Inhumans movie has said that it will introduce dozens of new characters. So this movie is to me, this is gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy after watching Guardians of the Galaxy. Like before I watched it, I didn't have any expectations for Guardians, but my expectations for Inhumans are what I would expect Guardians after watching, Guardians. So.
Right, I gotcha.
So, can't wait for that. And finally, we have the Avengers Infinity War Parts 1 and Part 2. Part 1 will be dropping May of 2018, which will be before Captain Marvel and before Inhumans, and Part 2 in May 2019, immediately following those movies.
And I can guarantee you the last scene before it cuts to black of Part 1 will be Thanos putting on the gauntlet with all 6 gems in it.
Yes.
Probably.
And we all
with that creepy smile. Because, I mean, in the comic, the first thing he did when he put on the glove was snap his fingers and wipe half of all life in the universe out of existence.
Hmm.
I mean, just like, yep, you're all dead. Bam.
Yes. So we definitely know that Thanos will control both the Gauntlet and all of the Infinity Stones. They already teased that in the Phase 3 announcements.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
It is also said it will be the culmination of everything that has come before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
However, what Cleo's been talking about, the Guardians of the Galaxy coming together, director James Gunn has kind of shot that down and said, with Guardians of the Galaxies, we're trying to make Avengers affect it as little as possible. It was when he was asked how the tone of the Age of Ultron could impact the sequel, Guardians of the Galaxy. We are really separate from the Avengers, and I don't think people should assume too many things about Guardians' play in all of this. We have our own galaxy to take care of. We have our own galaxy to save. Earth is the Avengers' providence.
Well, he can say all he wants, but in reality, Disney and Joss Whedon are the ones that control everything, not him.
It's true.
He's also addressing that in reference to this coming Avengers, Age of Ultron.
They also said that after Age of Ultron, Joss Whedon's not directing anything else for Marvel.
Yeah, but I mean...
And he said thinking that everything is going to come together in a perfect way is not necessarily the way it's going to happen.
It could be beautifully imperfect. But the point is they introduced a gem in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And that's not insignificant. And when it comes down to all of the gems, it's not just this galaxy that's affected. It's the entire universe. Everything is affected. I can't imagine that they wouldn't be affected. Like, that's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's... They're going to be affected, because it's... No matter if they have on-screen shared time or not, where the Guardians meet the Avengers and they become some super team, they're still going to be sharing the same universe and sharing the same problems.
Yeah.
There'll be references thrown back and forth.
As far as the Infinity Stones go, we have the Tesseract is confirmed to have been space.
Yes.
We have Loki's staff, which is assumed to be mined. We have the Power Gem from Guardians of the Galaxy.
We have the Aether, which is...
We don't know what the Aether is.
Reality.
It's reality.
Is it reality?
Yeah.
In the comics, there's 6 gems.
Yeah.
Right? So, if there's only 5 in the movies, that leaves us with Time and Soul. Only one of those.
Wait, they said there's only going to be 5 in the movies?
Really?
How many are in the Gauntlet?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4...
One on each finger and one in the center.
Yeah, 4, and then 1 in the center.
Thumb included, I thought.
I did not see one in the thumb. So, I don't know. When they showed that whole thing...
I want to say we'll know soon enough, but we probably won't know for a very long goddamn time.
It'll be a few
won't
years.
know until Infinity Wars, I bet.
Yeah. I'm going to look for that picture real quick again. But
I don't know which one is the one that they teased for the movie. 'Cause there are a lot of like physical gauntlets here, but they look like just...
I guess there is one on the side.
Yeah, on the thumb. There's one right here.
Okay. So, yeah, we don't know which one the Aether was, right?
The Aether
was
reality.
It's reality?
It's reality?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because it makes the sort of kind of portals between places in the universe, because what's-her-name gets sent...
And it can alter reality, which is what Malekith wanted to do with it in the first place.
Yes, yeah, he wanted...
Bring darkness back to the universe.
Interesting.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so we still have 2 unaccounted for gems. We're going to assume one is going to be introduced in Guardians 2. And Mike's theory is that we're going to get the other in Doctor Strange.
I am still convinced that they're that Thanos has to have another gem. He has to have at least one more, because we know he had the mind gem that he gave to, or well, we can assume that it was the mind gem that he gave to Loki. And I couldn't see him giving Loki a gem if he didn't already have one as like a
backup
security.
So I mean,
I think he might have one or maybe both of them.
If he doesn't, my opinion is, like, you would think Guardians 1 dealt with a gem, so Guardians 2 would deal with another one. But then at the same time, Doctor Strange, for me, would be the best time to introduce the Soul Gem out of what's coming. And then, I mean, they can throw time into Thor Ragnarok, or the time could be Guardians 2.
I think it's going to be that they throw it into Ragnarok, but we don't realize that it was in Ragnarok until Infinity. Because, like you said before, Mike, that Thor could use it to pop into Infinity Wars when he's already dead. So maybe it's involved in Ragnarok, but we don't find out that it's involved in Ragnarok until Infinity.
Right.
Which would be very cool.
It would. Awesome. It would. So, I mean, we really don't have much to go off of for Infinity Wars. It's really going to come down to how the rest of the Phase 3 had played out. So
all we know is that Thanos is going to fuck up shit. All the shit.
I mean, for all we know, one of the gems may not be introduced until the Black Panther, the Inhumans, or Captain Marvel movies. So we'll see.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to have all of them accounted for by the time, or in the beginning of Avengers Infinity War Part 1.
Yeah, they're all going to be accounted for. They're not all
together, then at least all accounted for.
Either that or the last one will be introduced in Part 1. Exactly. So,
where's the power gem at the end of Guardians? In a vault on Xandar?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yep.
And the Aether is in the Collector's Collection, which got blown up, so who knows where it is now.
Yeah, so we actually don't know where the Aether is.
The Tesseract is in Odin's vault. And the mind... I mean, Loki's staff is in the hands of Von Strucker.
Von Strucker, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
So the Collector could still have the Aether, but it could be somewhere else.
So I think Guardians 2 is also going to deal with the power gem again. We'll probably won't get a new one there.
So one gem is in Odin's vault, wherever the hell Asgard is in the universe, if it's even in this universe and not an alternate dimension. 2 are in, if that's the Andromeda Galaxy, and then 1 is on Earth.
Yeah. Yep.
I just felt like changing masks.
There's a lot that needs to be done to bring them together.
There is a lot that needs to be done. But outside of that, we were originally told July 8th, 2016 was going to be a movie. It mysteriously dropped off the lineup as soon as Phase 3 was announced. It could very well be that movie has been moved, like we said earlier, due to casting issues with Doctor Strange, or it could be a movie that they just haven't announced yet. It could be a secret movie. Which would be incredible. But if you look at the timeline for 2017, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in May 5th. We have Thor Ragnarok July 28th, Black Panther November 3rd. So we have a movie May, July, November. For 2018, we have Infinity Wars Part 1 in May. We have Captain Marvel in July, and Inhumans in November. So another May, July, November. And then you look at 2016, and we only have movies in May, which is Captain America Civil War, and November we have Doctor Strange. If you also look at the pattern of it, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, for 2017, big movie. We have Thor, another big movie, and then Black Panther, which is kind of the off bet, right? Then you look at Avengers, where you have, Infinity War, Part 1, or 2018, we have Infinity War Part 1, which is the big movie. We have Captain Marvel, which is, female lead. It's going to be, you know, another fairly prominent movie. But then we have the Inhumans, which is kind of at this moment the off bet.
So yeah, and
Then-
I'm laughing here. I have to laugh because it just hit me. You know, you say May, July, November, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if in that May we have Captain America: Civil War, and then July, you know, all of a sudden at the end of that they're like, oh yeah, coming this July is Iron Man: Civil War, like, and they make it a two-parter.
Yeah, very well can.
But they already said that there's not going to be any more Iron Mans.
Correct.
No.
However, they can get away with that by saying it's just a Civil
Part
War
2.
movie.
Well, they've.
Civil War
It's
Part
not
2.
really an official. There won't be any more Iron Man movies, because Robert Downey Jr. has already said that he's doing an Iron Man 4.
He went back and he said, you know what, I'll play the role as long as they keep casting me for it.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be an Iron Man title. As long as they keep writing him into other movies, he'll be it.
Because it won't be called Iron Man 4, but he's pretty much said Iron Man. You know, there will be more Iron Man movies.
And then
That
there was
be the dopest shit.
And then there was an AMA done on, and Reddit shat a collective brick when the question was asked, if you could be in any TV show right now, what would it be? And he just put Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., period.
Yep.
Yeah, that should happen.
I mean, it would be really cool to get a Civil War movie from Iron Man's perspective, but Robert Downey Jr. said that if he was to do another Iron Man movie, he doesn't want to do a typical sequel to Iron Man 3.
That would not be a typical sequel.
Exactly. That's why this fits in so well with that. So...
No, it would be a sequel to Captain America.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What am I doing? We're talking about Iron Man.
Yeah, wear the right damn mask.
Yeah. Is it possible you think maybe we could see a Hulk or Black Widow movie?
I doubt Hulk, and I doubt either of them. Because the Hulk is not that it's failed twice, but it hasn't done as well twice.
It's failed twice.
It failed twice.
Come on.
I mean...
And Widow, I think I said it before, Widow's an enigma. If she gets her own movie, it may be forced to reveal too much about her.
Yeah. I mean, they did say we will be seeing the Hulk in many of the other films leading up to Infinity War. So Hulk is going to have a lot of appearances in these other films. And Black Widow... Black Widow has kind of been, as they quote, a linchpin in the Avengers films.
Yeah.
So she's very, very prominent role, and I don't think they want to take that away from her and just keep her in that role for now.
Yeah, I think they'll both be like overarching characters.
Do you think it's possible that we may see an MCU Spider-Man movie in that role, in that time slot?
What's
if
the
they
date? That's 2016.
That is 2016.
They would have to get the rights guaranteed to them, signed over like now.
Yeah.
Well,
because
we know it could have happened.
Will take 6 months to a year.
They could have already been writing this movie. They could have already been writing the movie. They don't have to have the rights to the movie to write the script.
That's true. But
everything.
Pre-production is more than just writing.
Right.
But
and even if it was all written, they would still be 6 months of work to get it up off the ground, budgeting and all of that sort of technical stuff.
Budgeting, cast,
production
director.
would be 4 months, and then editing would be another year. So,
I mean, they announced this a while ago, and then the movie that was coming out July 8th, 2016, and then all of a sudden it just dropped off.
Yeah.
So, for all we know, that this could have been in the works for that long. You know, they could have been talking to Sony about this Spider-Man thing. We know from the recent Sony email hacks that you know, it supposedly didn't go through, but they were still in talks.
Yeah,
they've been even before this whole idea of just giving the rights back. There's been talks of sharing the rights for years now. So they could have. Realistically, it's really a tight turnaround, but it could be done. They could put out a movie in 18 months if they had stuff done ahead of time.
Yeah,
the pre-production you'd say.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Maybe especially with there being Civil War a couple months before, it would make sense. But I mean, it's
just think about the potential of a post-credit scene Spider-Man in Civil War, and then 2 months later, boom, Spider-Man MCU is announced and out. People will be like, what the hell? This just snuck up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The real trick would be signing the contracts, filming the movie, and everything without the internet finding out.
Yeah.
That would be the trick.
Because we already know now that there will not be any more Spider-Man movies outside of this deal, other than like the Aunt May movie or whatever. You know.
Well, let's put this hypothetical. Let's say that right now they've already ironed it out. It's done. It's sealed. They've signed all the paperwork and it's done. Right.
Yeah.
And they're still gonna proceed if Sony has gone in half with Marvel and it's split 60-40 like they've been discussing. They could come up with some term that says Sony's going to start filming a Spider-Man movie to throw us off. And then we get reports that a new Spider-Man movie is being filmed, and it's being filmed under Sony. And then all of a sudden they throw at us out of left field. Nope, it's a Marvel movie.
It's an MCU movie, yeah.
Oh, God.
That would actually, because Sony would be funding it, so they could actually do it, on the Sony sets, so to speak.
Yep.
That would be a left field curve there. Yeah.
It would. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's what I would like to happen.
And who
it's more likely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm also. I don't want to say I'm tired of Spider-Man.
I'm tired of Spider-Man.
5 movies.
But I mean, unless you throw us something that's not Peter Parker or not a standard Peter Parker, I don't think it's going to be interesting enough.
I'm tired of cash grab Spider-Man.
Yes.
I'm tired of movie every year to keep the rights Spider-Man.
Yep.
MCU Spider-Man ran by Marvel. That would be an interesting twist. That would be different enough to go see it.
They've already said they don't want to do an origin story. They already said they don't want to do a love story. Like, if there's going to be a love interest, it's going to be very, very, very side plot.
And I would love to see a Marvel, an MCU Fantastic Four. I know it's never going to happen, but I mean, I like the Fantastic Four. They're up there as far as, Marvel teams that I enjoy.
Don't forget, Marvel has the rights back to Punisher, right? We don't have any plans for Punisher right now, but they have the rights to him. They could just introduce him as a character in not any one of these movies, but any coming Marvel movie. They could just throw him in there.
They could.
That's true.
Don't forget, we're also going to have the Defenders Netflix series coming next year.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Or this year, rather. It's coming this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
This year, you mean?
Or 2015. So
2015.
Yeah. In another month.
This year has nothing.
In another month, it'll be next year, whatever.
The next 2 weeks of this year.
So we're going to see Daredevil. We're going to see all these characters leading up to the Defenders, and these characters may end up making their way into some of these movies. They said if any of the characters became popular enough off the Netflix series, there is potential that they will get a movie or appear in movies. So it's very possible at this point we may even see some of them in Infinity War or we don't know. It's a long time away after these things air. It's going to be Infinity War is going to be 4 years after this airs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh, that's fucking right. One of my favorite people is going to be in that. Iron Fist.
Yep. Fucking
love Iron Fist.
Oh yeah.
And Luke Cage. I love them. They're so great.
And with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really kind of picking up the pace now. The first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we spent so much time of S.H.I.E.L.D. reacting to the Marvel Universe. This time, they're leading the way. They're driving the story now. They introduce the Inhumans into the Marvel Universe in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And there's a potential thread that is even playing out right now that may tie into the Netflix series on S.H.I.E.L.D. You have Bobby and Mac. They're potentially, possibly working with Fury right now. We don't know. They have some secret agenda. And if they're working with Fury and Fury's setting up this other team, that could very well carry over to the Defenders Netflix series.
Right.
When does that come out before Avengers?
Yes.
I think so.
Maybe.
Part of it does. I don't think the whole thing will be out by the time.
I know Fury's back in the Avengers movies. In the Avengers movie,
He's going to be back in Ultron.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of wonder what's going to go on there.
I mean, we're also going to have Peggy Carter, which we know is definitely tied to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget when Daredevil drops. Or what I'm reading now is apparently... 2015 will begin Daredevil. We're going to see Iron Fist. We're going to see Luke Cage.
I don't have an Iron Fist mask, but I have a t-shirt.
Jessica Jones. You know, and then it'll culminate into the Defenders. But I don't see right now. I did at one point see when.
Yeah, and it's gonna be in the Netflix style for the entire series drops at one time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Binge watch that shit.
I'm trying to look right now for the Daredevil TV series. Doesn't say.
Interesting.
There's something I've been trying to think of.
Charlie Cox will be playing Matt Murdock.
Cool.
Yep.
Something I've been trying to think of. I can't remember what it was. Maybe you guys know. You know how like in DC they had that futuristic group. It was like Guardians something. I don't remember. They were in Smallville and things like that. And they actually gave dude a ring. What was Marvel's equivalent to that? I can't remember. I know they had a futuristic team also.
I don't remember.
Sure. I don't know.
Oh.
Oh well. Y'all don't know either.
Yeah, but Daredevil will be 13 episodes that will be released simultaneously. They're coming first, and they said that there will probably be more seasons of Daredevil following. So, expect that to be a running series as well.
Well, alrighty then.
That says May 2015.
Oh.
Yeah, so it could be like, it'd probably be like right before Avengers. Because that's like May 25th or something, isn't it? I don't know.
Avengers is,
Yeah.
Not sure.
Avengers is,
I don't know.
Today
I'm excited. I want movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super excited.
Well, we're gonna get stuff. There's gonna be stuff.
May 1st is Avengers Age
May
of Ultron.
1st.
So yeah, we will not be getting it before that Avengers, but that's not to say that it won't tie into Infinity War in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
That's, 3 years later.
Yeah.
So. I think that about does it. You guys have anything else you want to add?
No, I just see you have the Wikipedia thing pulled up for all the movies, and Winter Soldier and Guardians did so well. It's like, yeah. They got the directors like, yeah, you can direct the second ones. You can direct the sequels. Go, do it. Make us more money.
Go do it.
Go, do. Make magic.
Yeah.
With our blessing.
Yeah.
And one thing I just kind of picked up recently, even though it's happened to the entire thing, they actually have this guy, Kevin Feige. His entire job at Marvel, at Disney, is to pilot the MCU. And to make sure everything ties together.
Yeah. Well, don't forget
job.
we're also having Agent Carter airing this January 6th.
Yeah.
And it's the finale of that is February 24th.
It's going to be, 8 episodes.
Yep, it's going to be super interesting. We know we're going to see Peggy Carter. We know we're going to see Thomas Stark. And
Howard Stark?
Or Howard Stark, sorry.
Howard the Duck.
Thomas Wayne,
Howard Stark. Howard the Duck.
They're the same character.
Yeah. Howard Stark, and we do know for a fact that there will be flashbacks in Captain America Civil War involving Agent Carter. So,
bringing it back.
Yep. So that will be tied together in some way, shape, or form. Yep. Hopefully some seeds will be set leading into it.
Sorry, one cat is about to literally jump on the other, and this is entertaining.
Excellent.
I did want to... There was something.
One sitting cleaning, and about a foot and a half up, unbeknownst to her, is the other one sitting on the table, like...
I will jump you.
You said you had something else, Clio?
Oh, yeah, there was... I knew back when we were talking about Age of Ultron, which seems like fucking forever ago.
It was. It was but, 2.5 hours ago. I missed
something. The thing I forgot to say was that there are shots of a weird-looking hospital, like an old-looking hospital, and it's just like 2 very quick shots. One of like a wheel and a gurney, and one of like tools.
Yes.
And I think that is flashbacks, Hydra flashbacks.
I don't think it's Hydra flashbacks. I think that's the same facility that we see at the end of Captain America, which holds Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
It could be, but that facility didn't look as old as the shots from the. I think it's gonna be. That's my theory, is that it's going to be Hydra flashbacks.
Interesting.
Possible.
All right.
But they're super short shots, and it's hard to extrapolate from that. But that's my theory.
Clio, where can the people find you, and what movie are you most looking forward to in Phase 3?
You can find me at Cliomoto, and all of them. All.
No, that's not an answer.
Captain America, you know, I said this already, but all. Like, they're literally so close to each other in my expectations that I want all of them. All of them.
Mike, where can the people find you, and what movie are you most looking forward to in Phase 3?
Twitter, right there, Philodrin, and... I already mentioned it. It's tied between Doctor Strange and Ragnarok.
Pick one.
I can't pick one.
You have to. He's gonna flip a coin.
He's gonna flip a coin?
It's around.
I have a coin. I have a coin, Mike. Heads or tails?
Heads.
What is heads?
Heads is Doctor Strange.
Tails.
Oh, okay, so I'm looking forward to Thor 3.
Tails. Okay. Erika, where can the people find you, and what movie are you most looking forward to?
It's on Twitter at Erika Rain 7.
And Tails too.
And my most looking forward to movie is probably Doctor Strange, just because it's interesting.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, Phenomedom, and the movie I am most looking forward to is The Inhumans.
I'm most looking forward to the ultimate Disney Universe crossover, where we get the Muppets, Star Wars, Marvel, and Frozen, and Lion King, and everything. All in one movie.
So Kingdom Hearts the movie.
Yes.
Not even Kingdom Hearts, just like everything Disney.
Kingdom Hearts, if you take Square Enix out of it.
What? You can't do that.
Take the concept of Super Smash Brothers and apply it to Disney Infinity, and there you go.
Marvel versus Infinity. You could also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, G+, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week, until next movie, so I guess...
Next year, motherfuckers!
And until next March, when
for Age of
movies,
Ultron.
TVs come back.
When you guys will see us again talking about the MCU for Age of Ultron. But until then, you can follow Clio on Twitter and find out how many masks she actually owns.
As she makes them, she'll put a picture on Twitter and probably Instagram. And, yeah, follow.
Well, I wanted them to keep them a surprise for this, but now that they're done, the more that I make, I will start putting them on Twitter.
Be entertained.
Can we all wear them going to see the the Avengers movie?
Yes.
We each wear one and take a group photo?
Yes.
Excellent.
Are y'all gonna pay for my ticket out to New York?
I'll send you one in the mail.
Yeah.
Which one you want?
The rocket one, yeah.
Rocky, yeah, I'll do a raccoon one.